Hello and welcome to the Metabreakers Podcast, episode 62, starring your three boys as usual, the father of unironically playing Control Priest, the father of meme decks, and the father of Demon Hunter. You can all line those up any way you wish, but I am definitely not the father playing Control Priest unironically. How is your day going, guys? What's up, D-Money? How are you?
Did you even say Happy Father's Day?
I did. I called you guys all fathers. Happy Father's Day.
You didn't even mention that it was fathers. You said that we were fathers, but you didn't actually.
Happy Father's Day!
You're right. We almost hit it on the nose, but happy Father's Day, everyone here. If you are a dad, congratulations on being a dad and celebrate yourself. This is your day. This is your moment. Live it. Yeah, what's up, guys? How are you doing on this Father's Day? Dan.
I am the father of Mauled, and I'm happy about it.
Father of Mauled. Okay.
Doing good. Happy Father's Day to everybody, of course. Yes. Happy Sunday, guys. Doing all right. We got some exciting topics to talk about. So, yeah, feeling good. It's always nice to be on another meta-breaking podcast.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Mr. Warshack.
What about you, Warshack? Sorry.
It's going super well. So, for me, we got TBC that I've been grinding hard and having a blast with, killing some Alliance and leveling to 70 so I can begin raiding. So that's always great. And then, like, I don't do anything, like, during the year. Like, my plans are just, I don't travel or do anything. And then in the next, like, basically 2 months, I'm going to be gone for, like, upwards of 3 weeks because this upcoming week I get scuba dive certified. So I don't, like, know what that entails, but I have to, like, take this really long test online and I have to go to the Keys for, like, 3 or 4 days and, like, get the certification, and then just a couple weeks after that, I fly to Belize with my family and do like scuba diving with like shipwrecks and coral reefs, and that's like a week and a half. And then literally the day I get back, the next day I leave for Pittsburgh to hang out with Draco. So it's gonna be like super, just like really busy. So as excited as I am to like do all these things, it's just like a lot at once after like being in house and just like kind of streaming and growing the channel every day. So hopefully me being absent for like 2 weeks doesn't like kill my YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, you're done. I'm taking over, bro.
Thanks, man. You take the reins. Freeze mage for you.
That's really that's really exciting though, man. I don't even know where Belize is, but that's awesome.
Neither do I. Sounds super tropical though. Should be nice.
That is pretty
Sounds
exciting.
Awesome.
As far as me, I'm having this like crazy thing happen with my job in real life where I don't know if I'm gonna go back to my old job or if I'm being extended to do the job that I've been doing for a longer time. And it's like all up in the air, but I have to like speak about like the end of my program and stuff and get all the stuff organized. But at the same time, I don't realize next month, am I going to be working 1 to 9? Am I going to be streaming in the mornings again? Or am I going to be streaming in the afternoons as I typically do? So I feel a little bit anxious about the fact that everything is kind of up in the air, but I'm just hoping that with a positive attitude, it'll all work out pretty fine, But other than that, yeah, we're about to kick off all the prep stuff for the wedding, and that's been intense. So I've been just casually playing a lot of BGs because I realized I was pretty decent at it, and I am eclipsing on 7K MMR after playing for about a week right now. So I'm just trying to see how high I can actually go if I try. So
yeah, anything to get out of wedding planning,
Yeah, well, we planned the wedding. It's more about the fact that everything is approaching like in the timeline stuff where it's like, okay, we have like bridal showers and we have to go to get this set up for this, and yeah, it's all happening now because
Do you have
we're
like
in the home stretch.
A planner, or are you guys doing it all? I'm unfamiliar with how this stuff plays out.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of ways to do it. Ali actually purchased this like pre-made wedding planner that's meant to assist you with like telling you all the stuff you need to get done, and then you can, and it helps you organize everything as you're going through it. It's pretty sweet. They sell these things to assist you with remembering all the details, so you can kind of be like guided along with doing it and have everything organized. So we do have it all planned out in like a book and everything, and it was made pretty user friendly for us. So Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
if you ever have
that's
to
what I
go
would
through
do,
it,
yeah.
let me, and we'll tell you about the book.
The
book.
Book of Destiny. Many things
Yeah.
written, many things planned.
That's right. Yeah, that's about it. Yep. Other than that,
You should totally. So you're giving a speech, right, for your work. You know, you should totally include some Demon Hunter esque cards, like names in there when you're doing it, and videotape it and post it on Twitter and go viral, bro.
you
Be
think
like,
so?
I'm taking this job with vengeance. We're to go to the top, and we're gonna be very inquisitive about our. We're gonna. I don't know. I can't think of anything, but I'm sure you could do something with it. That'll be epic.
It is it's very pressuring as it is, because it's like the situation is like it's considered an opportunity, right?
I'm such an
Because-
outcast.
Right? It's
Sorry.
considered an opportunity because I get to talk in front of all these like big important people at the company I work at. And I've been a trainer for the last like 5 months, so it's all about I get to do public speaking in front of these guys and talk about myself for about like 3 to 5 minutes. So it's like if I do a good job, I might get another job just off of that opportunity that I have, you know, putting myself out there. But so it's like kind of pressuring from that, you know, it's like I have to do a pretty good speech about myself, but at the same time make myself like marketable to do other things that involve public speaking. Yeah, it's a little pressuring, but hopefully we'll kill it. Hopefully we'll
You
treat
got
it like
this.
we're playing Demon Hunter. Yeah.
Well, good luck. Yes.
Thank you, boys. Appreciate it. So the meta.
Yeah. What's that?
This is the Hearthstone meta that we're looking at right here. Here's the overall win rates of the classes. You know, just don't fell blast it. I love it, guys.
Yeah, sorry, I was typing up your relentless pursuit to obtain $2 million in additional props. Sorry, instead of looking at the meta, I was trying to do the Demon Hunter thing that D-Money said.
With much relentless pursuit, we achieved great things.
Yeah. That's a
Oh,
good
shit.
idea. That's right.
But Shaman and Hunter, Demon Hunter, all above that 50%. I've seen a lot of these on ladder, no doubt. They seem like good classes with good cards that do things that kill your opponent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
does
I
this
mean,
look different than the last week?
It,
all?
I think it looks pretty similar. Maybe they bumped up in percentages. Actually, I'm not sure.
It's weird to see Warrior not up there as well. I know Rush Warrior is very good, so that's kind of funky to see down below Druid. Anything about that?
It's pretty
Rush,
much the same as last week, by the way. Sorry, continue.
It's all good. Rush Warrior's good. It just loses to. Doesn't it lose to Death Rattle Demon Hunter? Or am I mixing that up?
It does. It loses very bad. And
That's the main thing there, because there's a lot of Death Rattle Demon Hunter, so it's very difficult to play certain decks. And that it changes in every single pocket meta, but like that goes for like all these different decks. It's kind of that's why it kind of feels like rock paper scissors, because if you're playing something that's just not good against the one deck that you're facing over and over, then there's just no hope, even if it's a solid deck.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you know, Rush Warrior also is not the it's not the hardest deck in the game to pilot, but there is nuance to it to a point as well, because you have to be kind of aware of where your pivot points are. It's hard to kind of map out the way your 2-turn timers are going to line up with and how to like educate yourself on the best time to take advantage of like your power cards, like the playmakers and the parade leaders in the same turn and stuff. So it's not super smooth, right? There's a little bit of rigidness involved with piloting it. So I can imagine that the fact that there is so much nuance to the piloting of it, that also takes a significant few percentage points off of its win rate. Notice like all the classes up higher have a pretty linear game plan. You know, Druid, we go wide, we go face. Demon Hunter, we play the cards that cycle into the other cards in our hand, and then we use Inquisitor to go face. Hunter, tap the hero power button, and Shaman is just kind of playing the green cards. So yeah, all have pretty linear game plans on the top of this right here. Warrior is kind of where, it drifts into that point where you have to recognize pivot points and swing turns and prioritize things at the right time. And all the other classes beneath. I mean, Priest is obviously the best class in the game. It should be on the top, but it also requires meticulous piloting for it to hit those peak levels of performance. But yeah, I think Priest is stupid powerful. But yeah, it's number 7. Neat.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about last week, I feel like we talked about it last week as well, that a lot of things are stupid powerful. Like, I'm pretty sure I said that, like, every single class has a good deck, at least one good deck, except for Warlock. Like, Warlock does have a good deck. All right, well, Control... I remember this argument from last week. And Control Warlock is probably the better Warlock deck, but it just has a lot of rough matchups. But every class really, and like another thing for Rushed Warriors, that Priest is very viable. Priest is like one of the best, if not the best class in the game. Like mostly because its overall matchup spread, like it's good against the most amount of things, and that includes Rushed Warrior. Like it has a very good shot against Rushed Warrior, and especially with lower level Rushed Warrior players, like it's very difficult to navigate through that matchup. I know No Hands Gamer has displayed, like, when he used to play a lot of Rushed Warrior, you can see like how difficult it is. Like you have to hold back a lot of your resources, which is something that you're usually not doing. You're usually just vomiting on the board or something like that. But you have to really plan out these turns where you want to pop off, but you don't want to pop off too much, because then you play into something else. So it's actually very complex. You're just basically throwing out a resource, seeing how they deal with it, throw out another resource, see how they deal with it, over and over and over. Really knowing how much you need to push for that end game, and yeah, it's pretty complicated. So.
Good summary.
Yeah,
I like Paladin down there. It makes me very happy. I love to see the Paladin at the bottom, or somewhere more so to the bottom than where it was for like straight up like 6 months. It was just sitting at the top, so I don't mind this meta right now. It's all right.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I don't love playing against Priest, but everything else is fine.
We'll go to the top 1K, see what decks are shining above the rest.
Do it.
Let's see if anything here strikes us as being funky. And right off the bat, we see Spell Druid, top of tier 1. But if we look back over here, Druid is number 4. So if anybody has any info on Spell Druid and why this is shining bright, but the overall is not so much, I'm sure that is very interesting information.
Spell Druid is similar to Priest in the fact that it has so many polarized matchup spreads in which it's positive. You know, like you land into a Death Rattle Demon Hunter, you land into a Shaman, you run into a Rogue. Like you're looking at a good matchup for yourself with Spell Druid. So all of the other popular decks, there's like 50% of those popular decks just get rolled. So that's makes sense to me as to why Spell Druid is up there.
Yeah, I mean, it is the one deck in the game that can win on turn 1 or 2 as well, which I think is a big problem, because I last time I checked, I wasn't playing wild mode. I actually disenchanted all my wild cards since they released wild mode, but yeah, for some reason this one slipped through the radar. You know. That's all I got.
I'm just sad it has no new cards. Like, it's just the same good deck that we saw before the mini set, and you know, it's not really like any sort of refreshing. And it kind of all just revolves around the cast a spell twice, the Solar Eclipse, and whether you're comboing that with Arbor Ups, maybe Soul the Forest, or the Pride's Fury, or what have you. It kind of all revolves around that one thing. So as you know, maybe a better player could pilot the deck, better and achieve higher ranks. Like, the game plan of the deck is, Draco had mentioned, go wide and just hit him in the face. Like, how you win never changes. It's the same win con. It's just kind of how you get there changes slightly.
I mean, I think you should be I think you should be a little happy that they didn't get anything new because it's already an insane deck. So I would be very sad if they got something else for this deck. But the thing is, like, I don't even know what you change. Like, it's just like, I feel like it's just like a well-rounded, powerful deck. Like, there's a lot of different pieces to it that are very strong in their own right. So
Token Druid has always had different forms. Like if we think about Token Druid in the Knights of the Frozen Throne era, where before it rotated out during the Rise of the Shadows year, we were like doing like super ramp, and then we were playing like Whispering Woods and like throwing down Soul of the Forest after we ramped up really bad, and then you would just jam like double Savage Roar after that and win. So like this deck, this archetype has existed like pretty much the entire time that the game has been out, and eventually during the Rise of Shadows is when it started to suck a little bit more. Like in the beginning, people would run like Snip Snap, and they ran like this little mech package from Boomsday when originally that point came around. And then during Forge of the Barons, with Lightning Bloom still existing and the full Fungal Fortunes package existing now, instead of going the Mount Seller route that this package used to have, now it's just straight up like I can make so many token boards, because like there are even moments where you're like, all right, they ran out of cards, we're gonna win now. Then they're like Solar Eclipse, Fungal Fortunes, and then they just have another full hand, and you're just like, well, shit. I used all my AoE for the last 6 turns, and that's definitely going to be at least 3 more boards in their hand. So I don't know what I'm doing now. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't run out now, too, either. It's like the form of Token Druid that we have now, it builds like you can build like 8 token boards with the Gibberlings and the Glowflies and like the Soul of the Forest and the Arbor Ups and the little 1/2s with taunt that come down. It's obscene. But yeah, the one we have now is definitely one of the best Token Druids that's ever existed. I don't know if it's better than the Knight of the Frozen Throne one though. That one had ramp, but I don't know.
The old style.
I mean, like
Token Druid. Go on, D. Sorry.
What was that? No, what'd you say?
I was gonna say the old style Token Druid. It ran like Violet Teachers. We had Yogs.
Yeah.
We had the Mana Giants. I don't know. It just felt like it kind of did the same thing. It was just like slower, you know. And it all, I guess, comes down to like the Blossom, like just accelerating 2 mana for free. And they don't really care about the drawbacks of like overload, because there's no way to deal with, you know, the excess of just being able to spend twice your opponent's mana in 1 turn and then give them all, you know, a large quantity of health, or Death Rattle summon an additional 2/2. So yeah. Go on, D.
Yeah, I mean, like
Sorry.
Draco, like you guys are saying, like the deck has existed forever actually in the game. I don't know if there was a point where it wasn't viable. I'm not sure about that, but like it's literally existed forever with like the Violet Teachers, like you said, with the Savage Roar and the Force of Nature Savage Roar combo even before it was nerfed. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a thing forever, and it's really I don't know, like it's to the point where even Control Priest can't even handle it really.
Well, this is the moment of there being the least amount of AoE in the card cycle with rotations. So usually at this time frame, Token Druid is always a menace, right? Because they're gonna print more efficient AoE for all of the other classes that will eventually translate into further decks throughout the line, throughout the next expansion, and the expansion after. And then there will be a normal amount of expansions in the rotation. But since we're only in like 4 expansions at the same time, being in Forge of the Barons and the Forge of the Barons mini set, Token Druid usually kicks the most ass in this part of the cycle, just because Priest doesn't have all of their clears yet, even though they have a shit ton. You know, Warrior will get more stuff eventually. So I'm sure Shaman and Demon Hunter and maybe Rogue will get better cards to deal with multiple things at the same time. It'll all eventually add up to making it like difficult to play Token Druid, but we are not there. They have a lot of good matchups because no one runs AoE. So
Yeah, I see a lot of Priest hate in the chat. I just wanna address that. All right.
This is a priest hating channel.
Priest does get a lot of hate, and I understand it. I mean, me personally, I play Priest a decent amount. I played Highlander Priest. I like Control Priest. I've always liked Control Priest, mainly like Control Dragon Priest. That was one of my favorite decks of all time. And I mean, I totally get it right now. Like playing against Priest in its current form, it feels horrible, and I understand it even as a Priest player. I don't want to play against it either, but at the same time, I don't want to play against anything, because everything's annoying. Like I mean, playing against Spell Druid, you lose on turn 1 or turn 2. Like the whole thing about Priest, like the reason that Priest gets so much hate is the way that it wins, right? Because it gets these random heal cards, and like your opponent, you're so close to winning the game, and then they basically take it all away from you, and they stomp you with random stuff sometimes, probably like usually, but at the same time, Priest, you have to understand that Priest is this way because it's like Priest is dealing with the BS of all these other classes. Like all these classes have really BS things that they're not the same as Priest. They do different things, but they're still BS in their own way. So Priest has to have these BS things to deal with the other BS things, and that's just what it is. It's just the way that you lose is very tilting, and I get it. But I don't know. I think that people should definitely focus on some other decks as well, because there's a lot of other toxic decks in the meta.
Yeah, but you don't have to spend like 30 minutes to lose against those other decks.
You don't spend 30 minutes. I'm not even in a Priest mirror do I spend 30 minutes. Sometimes
I spend 30 minutes going to like the fatigue, playing with like OTK and with Death Rattle Demon Hunter against Priest, only to find like one light shower elemental that they get out of a raised ad that makes me lose. Like,
your opponent must be roping you, because the ones that like if you rope every turn, then sure, it'll go to 30 minutes with a Priest. But if both players are playing like at a decent pace, I'd say it's like 15 minutes, 16 minutes average. But even
I mean, going through your entire deck to lose, regardless of how many minutes it takes, just sucks, dude. Like everyone.
At least you got to play all your cards. That's exciting.
No, it's not. I don't want to play all my cards. I'd rather just move on to the next game until waiting to find that they get a final discovery that gives them the win right at the end of the game. Like, I would have rather known the outcome 10 minutes ago and conceded. Like, instead of just putting myself through it.
Yeah, I was playing it was what was it? I think it was my Freeze Cthulhu Mage, and I was playing against a Priest. Or it was my Corrupt, I don't know, it was some deck I was playing, and it was like I had clowns on the board, like 5 waves of clowns, and I was playing against this Priest, and it was a 25-minute game. He top decks Hysteria. I'm like, okay, it happens, right? And then he top decks Renew, and then he hits Soul Mirror that clears the second wave. And then he top decks Wand Maker into Renew, into Raise Dead, into the Scorpid, into a Hysteria, which clears my board again. And then he also, off the Raise Dead, got, it was either another Wand Maker or some card that generated a card which got Palm Reading, that got another Raise Dead, which then got another Scorpion, which then got another Hysteria. It was literally like 7 turns of Hysteria or Soul Mirror off of just randomly generated stuff after 25 minutes. And, you know, that is, there should be some discover, but just the level of just like outcome of random is too deep. And I agree, priests need to have a good win con, but the win con of just like random, I don't think is good. Like the same thing with Mage had, like the Highlander Mage. It was like every card in the deck, I think like 95% of the cards in the deck had either Discover or Create, and what you got was random. So like that also fell under like the same category. I was like, just, I don't know. I'd rather just have a higher power card like Shaman, for example. Not maybe always, but like a Fire Elemental, you know what it's going to do. It's a 6 mana 5, or 6 mana, what is it, 6/5, deal 4. That's just what it does. And there's other cards in the deck that may be able to generate stuff like Guidance and stuff like that, but at least it's like brought in where they're not like creating a whole bunch of guidances or cards that bring back guidance. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree that Priest does need stuff.
Like the reason that it feels like so bad, and that the reason that it happens, so I guess the reason that it feels so bad is because it's so consistent for a random mechanic. I think that's what it is, and that's because of the card pool, of course, because of the limited card pool. So, of course, like as we go through the year, as we get more expansions, then like if you renew, it's gonna be a lot harder to find Soul Mirror and stuff like that. But yeah, right now, like you can consistently like playing Wand Maker, like you're probably going to find a heal card, or like you're probably going to like you have a good finding what you want with like Scorpid, with Wand Maker, with all these things, and that's what's also pretty annoying. And I mean that's the same thing with all these other classes as well. I mean you have Shaman that can randomly get like they don't have as much random, but when they do random, it's not even so random. Like if they play Instructor Fireheart, like they usually will get burn cards, and when Mage plays Ruined Orb, they'll usually get a Fireball or another burn card like Mask of Cthulhu. So it's kind of similar, it's just that Priest has ways to do it more, and that's really it. Like these other decks are still at just as strong, and like it's very concerning. We were talking about it a little bit before the podcast, and it's kind of concerning, like these decks that are at the top that don't really generate too many things, like Spell Druid and Face Hunter, like they are that strong without even needing to do this BS kind of stuff. So it's like you always say, Rob, that like losing to a deck like Demon Hunter, like it's not so bad because it's not as bad as like losing to Priest because you know what's in their deck.
Yeah,
but
it's like
at the
5
same
to
time,
10
like,
minutes, no random or very little random.
At the same time, like knowing what's in their deck is triggering to me already because like they're so powerful, these cards. So yeah, there's different perspectives there for sure, I think.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But, yeah. We could go on to the next topic.
Yeah, it was long. As long is there anything else here that stands out to us or not so much? That was like literally all about Spell Druid and random. Is there any other like top 1K deck that can get a little peek or
Spell Druid?
I'm good to move on.
Yeah, we've seen this stuff time and time again. Yeah.
All right, so we've got the Masters Tour next. D-Money had some words to say about the Masters Tour, and you're on.
Yeah, honestly, screw the Masters Tour. If I'm not in it, it's not worth watching. All right. But seriously, Masters Tour is going on this weekend. It's going on today. Today is the last day of the Masters Tour. I believe it's Dalaran. And
yeah, you said it right. Good job.
Thank you. Well, of course I said it right, bro. What? Okay. Yeah, Masters Tour Dalaran's going on, and I mean, me personally, I haven't been watching it too much because it's the same meta that we've seen for a while now. It's not really too interesting to me, the meta. But of course, it is fun to watch sometimes, and like just watching these high-level players just duke it out for a lot that's on the line. Honestly, like this is a big Masters Tour because this is like the one right before. This is the last one that's for qualifying for Grandmaster for this next season of Grandmasters. So we have seen we do know a few new Grandmasters actually as of today, and one of them is Mick Banterface, who is on Team Hype Horizon, which is my team, baby. Let's go. And that's very exciting. And also Sales Luna and Ego Waffle have become GMs as well, which is really cool to see. I think there was one other person that got GM as well. I just don't know. I couldn't find their name, but really exciting to see these. I mean, they're all young individuals, and they're streamers. I think Sales Luna has been streaming recently. I know Ego Waffle and McBanterface have been streaming a lot as well. And yeah, it's just cool to see good things happen to good people. And I think they're going to bring like a whole new life into Grandmasters. So it's very exciting, and it also drives me to compete more myself, because now I'm of course jealous. And I want that spot, bro. I'm gunning for that spot now. So let's go. I'm pumped. Let's get it.
The question for someone who doesn't really know the intricacies of like the Masters Tour to Grand Masters, like how you transition from being going from a Masters Tour to a Grand Master. Is there like how many points do you need, or do you need like a certain amount of like top fours in the Masters Tour? Like what ascended Mick Banter from participating in the Masters Tour to now being considered the highest level group of Hearthstone players in the game?
If you beat me on ladder, you become GM. That's what it is. No, but seriously, yeah. So it is a point-based system now. That's like a new thing that they're doing with Master Stores altogether. And you get a certain amount of points depending on your finish in the Master Stores. I think you only start getting points if you've got at least 7 wins. If you went at least 7-2 in the Master Stores, and then it exponentially goes up from there. Like getting top 8 in the Master Store gets you significantly more points and stuff like that. And then whoever the top point earners are for each region, at the end of that period, I think it's maybe like 4 Master Swords or something like that, then they get promoted to Grandmasters. So for Americas, America is actually the easiest region to nobody's surprise. So I believe that McBanterface and Sales Luna only had gotten like the one top 8, and they are now GM because there was just nobody that had more points than that in Americas.
Wow.
So maybe not the best way to get there. Be like they didn't have as much points as these other people in the other regions, but I mean, still, it's to get top 8 in that tournament, still a very good accomplishment. And yeah, beat out everybody else that was in that region, regardless. So
cool.
Good for them. Congratulations, guys. Super cool. Anyway, regardless of the difficulty between regions, congratulations to the new Grandmasters. I really am looking forward to. Speaking of Master, I'm looking forward to watching Gabby in the European GM. I know we were talking about this a little bit off stream, but if any of you guys watched the previous Masters tour, that Gabby was the champion of the previous one, and there's been a lot of memes, a lot of great content that has came from his performance, listening to techno music and playing really intensively and clever. So he's become like pretty popular as a Hearthstone player, and I think it would just be good for the esports scene and as well as good for the game if not only did he maybe win today, but for the season that he's in GM, if he did really well, I imagine a lot of people will be interested in following his journey because he's so animated and fun to watch. And I hope that dude makes Hearthstone even more popular. So big ups to Gabby from France, who's kicking a lot of ass at a young age. Super cool. And I just want anything that make Hearthstone a bigger thing. And I think this is one way to get there, you know?
Yeah.
Is this sorry, Warshack, I just wanted to ask Draco, is this like, does this make you want to try hard, like to enter more like Masters qualifiers and stuff like that? Because I know you had entered a couple maybe recently. So
I personally don't really see myself taking the Grandmasters route to success and stuff. Like, maybe I could see myself having another change of like heart, or I could see myself changing my mind and getting eventually more encouraged and excited about being a part of the the qualification process or whatever. I personally am totally fine with being a class specialist who gets to innovate with his class and gets to make his own decks and hit high ranks sometimes. So I don't need to I don't really need to be part of the esport program to hit where I want to hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, if they ever have a Demon Hunter Masters tournament, then I'm hoping that you're going to be participating.
If there was some way that I could do like specialist tournament at a high level, I would love that. Or it's like I can bring my Demon Hunter deck with my 3 different side Demon Hunter decks and play against someone else's individual deck of what they like. That would be like, I like the specialist format. Back in the day, that was what I was best at. But I understand that everyone hates it when it's a control meta and everyone plays warrior and all the games are 45 minutes long.
Yes.
So I think it's better for Conquest to be the standard and Swiss rounds being the standard as well. I like that in terms of viewability for everyone. But personally, I like playing specialist just because I like playing my class and knowing something really well. So Who knows? Who knows what the future may hold?
Yeah.
But I'm not interested in being a grandmaster currently. But if I qualified and then I got a top 8 and then I found out I was going to get one, I would completely pivot. I'd be like, fuck that, guys. I'm GM for life. GM Draco now. No longer call me DracoCatt. Only Grandmaster Draco now. Rebrand everything. We would have the golden card back with like the cat logo on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it would be. We would go all in if it just happened, but I don't think it's gonna just happen though. Spoiler.
Yeah, talking about the Gabby thing, it kind of reminds me. I don't know who was around back when. I can't think of his online tag for Hearthstone, but everybody referenced him as like the young savage. What was his name? What's it? Do you know what I'm talking about? He placed Pavel and he lost the Paveling book. He came in second at the World Championship.
Amnesiac.
Yeah, oh, it's Amnesiac. Yeah. So that kind of reminds me of Gabby a little bit, just to have the young spice in the arena, and he's like taking out all the well-known players, and he's kind of doing it in a fashion way, in a very high energy way. That's just like, you know what, watching competitive Hearthstone's pretty fun, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of that, because watching Amnesiac play was always fun, and then hearing what he had to say after the tournament was good, and then having the rivalries between him and some other guys was good. Granted, it was all in good fun. It wasn't like they actually disliked each other, but just having some sort of pressure on the match just makes it a little bit more epic, as you would say.
To you guys who weren't watching the Masters Tour last night, which I know Dan and Warshack might not have been watching the Gabby game last night, but he was playing Rush Warrior against Rogue, and he had a really bad hand, and then all of a sudden he got a conditioning and his headphones were off. They were on his desk right here, and he was just playing the game really frustrated. And then the second he drew the conditioning, he put the headset on and started jamming to music, and he did the trades really fast and stuff like that. And he was just screaming like that at the screen and stuff. I was like, fuck yeah, man. We drew the conditioning. Time to rock out. It's just hilarious. Just to see someone just pivot with the one card they drew, it just changes their entire attitude about the game. Love it. But
exactly.
Yeah, I like when there's personality. That's what makes it for me. Is when there's personalities, people with personality in the Grandmasters. One example is Monsanto. He is this personality. He has this personality. And he always wears the hat, and he always talks in that Monsanto kind of way, and he's humble, and I don't know, man. He's just his own kind of personality, and I like that Gabby brings that kind of that young blood kind of energy to it. And I think with the new GMs that we have coming, there could be a lot of new stuff as well. And everything Draco said was on point. Yeah, I agree. I am running out of time here, so
yes, this is the last segment. Draco, you want to lead the reins on this one?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this briefly because we had a good conversation about it when I was on another podcast the other day called Born to Be Wild. Everyone on that podcast was assuming that when Celestion says that he's hinting towards there being some kind of in-client support for Naz Dormu Day, that they were expecting it to result in a tavern brawl, 1, or 2, they were expecting it to be a quest that you could complete to get gold to purchase packs or something like that. Naz Dormu Day is something that the Hearthstone community managers and Blizzard talks about as a singular day every single month, where they just randomly encourage you to put Naz Dormu in your decks. I always get people in chat telling me to do it, where I have to explain to them that putting Naz Dormu in my deck that goes around Skull is literally way more crippling than putting it in any other kind of deck that I could be playing. So I am not going to make my deck considerably worse to do this. But that being aside, the in-client support idea that I think would be really awesome if they did it like this, where their in-client way of celebrating Naz Dormu Day was the nuclear option. And I was just talking about this with Shaq, where basically you can't play standard or wild unless Naz Dormu is in your deck. All of the decks will just say it's invalid because everyone has Naz Dormu, and they just make the entire day, if you want to play Hearthstone, the only kind of Hearthstone that you can play is 15-second long game Hearthstone. That would be really amazing for your streamer content, because that would be, you know, 1 day a month where if you hate playing Nozdormu Day, that you can just sit out. It's a day. Get over it. But if you like it, you know, like you could always just be like, well, this is the Metabreaker Nozdormu deck. We played this last month. So today we're going to be playing this. We're going to shred people. You know, it can be really fun to just make content out of that. And, you know, see people that are trying to do like really difficult plays in the 15 seconds with like priest and stuff. And it would just be fun.
As much as I would like that, I highly doubt that's ever going to happen.
Yeah, me too.
Especially because like no minion mage is literally no minions. So like some decks are going to be at a bigger disadvantage than other. Like of course they're all going to be disadvantaged, but especially a deck like no minion mage gonna have a tough time. I can never see them really bringing it to standard. I mean, I don't even know if they care about wild, but I mean, at first glance, I'm thinking that it's going to be a tavern brawl as well, which is like it's cool, but like I don't think anybody really cares about tavern brawl.
What if it was a
much.
Brawliseum?
You freaking stole my.
Let's go. Yes, that's it.
Idea.
Right.
The thing is
that would be sick.
I was thinking that Brawliseum would be awesome with that, but then that can't be only for 1 day, right? And this is Nozdormu Day. Like they usually could last for like a week, so or something like that. Like you have to finish the run, and like so some people don't play as much as other people. So if it's only 1 day and for a Brawliseum, then it's gonna be kind of tough.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It wouldn't work for a singular day if it was a Brawliseum. But that
would be sick though.
I like the idea of Nozdormu Brawliseum, where you have to make a deck with Nozdormu, and you can win like packs if you go 12-0 and stuff, and that'd be sweet.
Yeah, that would be great for YouTube content and streaming content, like you mentioned, Draco. Like just playing all day with Nozdormu stuff, and then like having to not play against any priests because they couldn't do that. That'd be really, really good. And to go with the no minion mage, how they wouldn't do it. Hey man, I brought no minion mage to the first Nozdormu tournament I went in, and I just put Nozdormu in my no minion mage. Just draw them, dude.
Yeah, you just have to draw.
I did that as well. Actually, in a
it's pretty bad.
I played a THL match against somebody recently, and we both agreed to put Nozdormu in all of our decks, and
That's fun.
It was a lot of fun, man. Yeah. And I did bring no minion mage with Nozdormu, and I won. So
See?
That's right.
Good stuff.
It's possible. It's just you're definitely putting yourself at a disadvantage.
For sure.
But I mean, playing other classes, you do put yourself at a disadvantage as well, because like if you're playing rogue, like Secret Passage, the animation takes up like we've talked about this on the podcast before. Like the animations, like that's when it starts to matter the most. So.
And Oh My Yogg is much better because it takes your entire opponent's turn for it to trigger.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, so you really have to, like, when you're building these decks, you really have to think about the animation time, which is something that you never really think about in Hearthstone, except for, like, maybe with Plot Twist and the Warlock quest a while ago. But yeah, that would be cool in multiple ways. Like, one being that the deck building process is just very different like that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I love the unique Brawliseums in general. Like the heroic Brawliseum was some of the most fun I had streaming in a long time when we did that last, and I hope they do Nozdormu Brawliseum for sure.
Yeah, I definitely would have included Nozdormu in my deck that day recently. Like Nozdormu Day, I don't even know when it was. It was like 5 days ago or something. But yeah. They tweeted out about it after I already finished my stream. Like they tweeted it so late in the day, I didn't even know about it. And then I saw the tweet after I ended, and I was like, well, that's kind of sad, man. Yeah.
Well,
nobody knew. I wish they would have done it like a day before or something. I don't know.
There was one recommendation where if you do have it in the deck and your opponent doesn't, like it would just bring up a prompt and it would say, hey, your opponent's running Nozdormu in their deck. Would you like to have 15-second turns? Just like at the start of the game, if the one player has that in their deck. And then both players, if you can accept it, then you only need one player to do it. You could always opt to say no, but if you play the card, there's always the chance they may hit yes, which is an idea, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, but hitting on accident would really suck.
Well, yeah, if you don't want to have 15-second turns, but I don't know. I feel like that would definitely add spice.
Rob goes to the
Hearthstone.
kitchen to grab a beer, comes back in the mulligan phase, accidentally hits yes on it, doesn't realize he does because he starts talking to Tony in the background. 3 turns pass by before he sits down in the seat and realizes he already lost. Like
That's
gonna
content, baby.
Yep. That's a Twitter post right there. Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. That's content. We like that. All right. Well, I know it's Father's Day, and a couple of us have to run. So we normally have a Q&A, but today we're gonna cut it short, so no questions for any of you. You don't get to ask any questions today. So thanks for having me, guys. It was a wonderful podcast, and yeah, it's always a bunch of fun talking about Hearthstone with the Hearthstone homies.
All right, man.
Yeah,
see you
definitely
later.
more
Good luck
fun. Oh,
and everything.
sorry.
Yep. No, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely more fun talking about Hearthstone than playing it, especially right now. But yes, happy Father's Day to everybody. I do have to go. I do have a Father's Day thing to attend with some family. So that's why we're cutting it a little short. I'm sorry, but save all your questions for next week, guys. We do this every single week, Sundays at 1 p.m. EST. So hope to see you guys then, and thank you for having me. And yeah, have a great stream. See you guys
Later.